What do you think has been your biggest learning since you become a business owner?
Um, Look, I guess it's one thing having the idea. Really, the biggest challenge has been keeping the money flowing. Um, there's a relentless cycle of trying to raise money from investors, and you know, I think one of my biggest learnings would probably be that never to trust an investor uh, until you see the money in the bank account, because there's been quite a lot of false hope where people have said they're going to invest and then they don't, if you're a technology business, you're always rated against big global American technology. Yeah, so people say, "Oh, why don't you have this feature? Why don't you have that?" Because they just expect the product to look exactly as Google's does, but with around 10,000 fewer developers. So that's a challenge. And of course, as maybe in your other 85 shows, you've covered this, but Australian investors are incredibly conservative. I also used to be an academic. I used to be a non-resident research fellow at the University of Sydney's US Studies Centre in the innovation and entrepreneurship stream. And really what we looked at there was how New South Wales, but Australia more generally, could copy some of the entrepreneurship and innovation that goes on in the US. And aside from the fact that there are technical barriers and there are different institutional impediments, one of the biggest things is that access to capital just doesn't exist here, because investors will only invest in a sure thing. There's no kind of risk taking from investors. There aren't really angels who like the idea. It all gets bogged down in having to provide reams and reams of financial forecasts. It's just so. I think that's probably the biggest thing is that it is very, very hard to raise capital here.